What's up, Sarah?
Not much, just learning about the chain rule.
The chain rule?
Yeah, I'm watching this video, but it's super boring.
This video looks awful. You know what we should do? We should make our own video.
That's a great idea, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, let's ask Bridget too.
Oh yeah, Bridget should come.
Okay.
Bridget, what are your thoughts on the chain rule?
I love the chain rule.
You do? You want to
Yeah.
make a video with me and Sarah about it?
Yeah, I'd love to. Can I do the first part though?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to use the chain rule, but first I'm going to show you other methods to find the derivative, and then we'll work our way up to the chain rule. So first we're going to distribute and FOIL. So we know because it's squared, we can write 3x plus 2 squared like this, and then we can FOIL, so we get 9x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 4. And then we can combine the 6x, so we get 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And then we find the derivative, so we get 18x plus 12. And that's our final answer. And so we can also find the derivative of this same equation by using the product rule. So we can do y prime equals, and we can put it into the same two sets of parentheses, plus 2, and then we use the product rule. So we get the first function, 3x plus 2, times the derivative of the second function, 3, plus the second function, 3x plus 2, times the derivative of the first function, 3. And then y prime, this is 9x plus 6 plus 9x plus 6. And then you combine, you get 18x plus 12. So the final way to find the derivative of this function is by using the chain rule. So if we have y equals 3x plus 2 squared, we know that the inner function, g of x, is 3x plus 2. And we know that the outer function, we'll call that f of x, is x squared. So the chain rule says we have y prime equals f prime of g of x times g prime of x. So if we go ahead and we find the derivative of each of these functions, we get g prime of x equals 3, and we get f prime of x equals 2x equals. So we can plug what we know into this equation, so we get y prime equals 2 times g of x, 3x plus 2, times g prime of x, which is 3. So y prime equals 6, 3x plus 2, and then we can multiply that in. We get y prime equals 18x plus 12. So as you can see, we get the same answer each way, but as we move into more complicated problems, the chain rule becomes easier because we have to deal with less factors.
And now we're going to work on some more chain rule problems. Sarah?
Yeah, so we're going to start over here. So first we're going to take the outer function, f of x, which is e to the x, and then the inner function, g of x, which is x squared. And then we're going to find the derivative of both of these. So f prime of x just equals e to the x, and g prime of x equals 2x. And now we're just going to do the chain rule. So we do p prime of x equals our outer function, e to the inner function, x squared, times the derivative of the inner function, which is 2x, and that's our answer. And then we're going to move over here, and we're going to find the outer function here. So f of x equals x cubed, and g of x, the inner function, is x squared minus 3. And now we're going to find the derivative of both of these. So f prime of x equals 3x squared, and g prime of x equals 2x. And now Blacks is going to finish us off.
Now, to find h prime of x, you got to use the outer function, or the derivative of the outer function, 3 times the inner function, x squared minus 3, square it, times it by g prime of x, 2x, and then quick simplification, 6x, x squared minus 3, squared, equals h prime of x. And that's the answer. We're not going to simplify that any further. So for this last problem over here, the outer function, f of x, is cosine of x, and the inner function, g of x, is the sine of x. The derivative of each of these, they're not that hard, so f prime of x is the negative sine of x, and the derivative of g of x is cosine of x. And now, for the chain rule, you do the derivative of the outer function, so negative sine, times the inner function, sine of x, times the derivative of the outer function, so, or inner function, cosine of x. And that is the answer. Not too hard.
Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit harder problem, and this one involves the product rule and the chain rule. So over here we have the outer function, f of x, which we're going to say is x, and g of x, the inner function, is e to the 2x. So the derivative of the outer function is just 1, and to find the derivative of the inner function, we're going to have to do the chain rule. So when we do the chain rule, we get e to the 2x times the derivative of the inner function, which is 2. So it ends up being 2e to the 2x.
And then,
yeah.
Okay, and then now that we know all these different parts of the equation, we can plug it in to this product and chain equation. So to get y prime, we do the derivative of e to the 2x, which is 2e 2x, times the first function, which is x, plus the derivative of the first function, which is 1, times the second function, which is e to the 2x. And now, because we have e to the 2x on both sides of the equation, we can take it out. So we get y prime equals e to the 2x, 2 times x plus 1. And that's your answer. E to the 2x. And now, because we have e to the 2x on both sides of the
This is so good.
I think this is really good. I think we did a good job explaining it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, do you think we should show it to Sean and Bella? Like,
Yeah, I think they might need it.
Yeah, they definitely need help with this
Yeah,
one.
and Mr. Arsenal will probably like it too, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.